guys, and welcome to our first tutorial for iTS system. We are going to show the basics of the system. Right now we are going to see here on the game object menu we have the iTS submenu and all the options of the system in here. The traffic lights, in here you can add the script for the traffic light or group the traffic lights. In the simple vehicle you can add a new vehicle to rig it. And on the iTS manager, you can add a manager to the scene, a traffic spawner, which is responsible for spawning the traffic cars, and the traffic volume, which is for controlling by area the amount of traffic you want on the scene. So right now we are going just to add the manager to the scene. And now I'm going to show you the basic settings for the system. For the manager we have the general settings in here, the lines width, which is only for the graphical lines we are going to see when we create lanes. The resolution lane, which is the amount of points we want on each lane. The higher the value, the less points it will have. The lower the value, the more points. The lane curve speed limiter is for basically to multiply or to have the traffic cars go faster or slower on curves. The higher the value, the faster they go. The resolution connector is for exactly the same as the lane resolution. For the higher the value, the less points the connector have. The less accurate will be the collision detection on the joints, on the crossing of the roads. The lower the value, the best detection. The best value is 2.5. We are going to set it right now from there. These two buttons here, the reprocess line points and reprocess connector points. In case you already have placed lanes and connectors on the scene and you change the resolution, you have to apply it by pressing these buttons. The default vehicle type, in here you can set which types of vehicles you want to have on the lanes you are going to create. For example, I'm not going to use heavy nor train, heavy machinery and pedestrians, only taxi, bus and light and medium. So I'm going to select those. When I create a new lane, it will keep these vehicle types only, not the other ones. You can also create presets for this. So when you press the add preset, it will create a new preset with the values that you have selected on the default vehicle type. So you, for example, can create another preset for pedestrians, and I'm going to have this one as it was. Okay, now we are going to create lanes. What we are going to do is create the lanes for this square in here. So I'm going to create the first lane. As you can see, the lane is highlighted in yellow. That means that it is the current lane selected. We are going to select edit points, and you can add new points by just left mouse clicking on the screen. You can insert new points also in the same way. You can move them wherever you want and whenever you want. Okay, so we have created our first lane. Pretty simple. Now we are going to create the other lane the other way. We are going to add it in here, like so. We are going, as you notice, when you create a lane, it automatically gets selected. So I'm going to change to edit points. I'm going to add here the points here, 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 and here. you go. Now we are going to create the other lanes to close this square. You can create the lanes by just using the create lane option, then using the left mouse button and dragging it to wherever you want to place the end of the lane. So it's a click, drag, and then press the button. Okay, we have now created the lanes. As you can see, the vehicle type is getting the default settings we had in here. We are going now to create the connectors. For this, when you select the lane connectors and the connector option and create, you will notice that there is a small circle, green and blue, on the lanes. The green means that it is the first point of the lane, and the blue means it is the last point. So usually you only can put together or join by the connector a blue and a green point. As you can see, the system also takes the direction and puts the connector in a curve kind of way. Then we close this one too. Now we can also select a connector and it will show you the settings of this connector. As you can see, here is a direction value. It is automatically populated when you create the connector. It is right because if we see this lane, it is going to turn right in this direction. So that's why it is set to right. This one over here, this one in here has the left because it's from here to this other lane is going to turn to the left. You have the first stop option. This will make the cars stop, do a forced stop before crossing this connector. It is usually good to simulate like stop signs. You have the pass priority, which one is the higher priority, and the higher value of 100 is the lower priority. That means the cars that are going to pass on this connector will have higher priority than the others. You can set also the vehicle type that can cross this connector. For example, I can apply the presets. Also, if there is, even if, for example, a heavy type of vehicle is going to cross or is getting into this lane and have to choose where to go, but if the vehicle doesn't have any other way or any other connector to choose, it will go this way anyway. So even if it has not been in here selected the vehicle type, it will cross if there is no other way to go. So you can also edit the points of the connectors, remove the points. All of this I'm doing it with just left mouse clicking on the screen when I select the option. And the other thing we can do is, for example, you can save the road data or the data graph. And I'm going to clear now and load it up again. So you can see that it actually saved information. Here we have, for example, another data we exported that has the entire road network for this thing. And as you can see, you can build really complex road networks with this system. For example, this roundabout, you can see that you can create really complex connections in there. For example, in here we added lanes for the pedestrians. If I, for example, select here this lane, you will notice that the only vehicle type we have set in there is the pedestrians type. So in these lanes that are actually outside of the road, only pedestrians will be using these lanes, and they have their connectors that crosses the street. When a pedestrian is crossing the street, all the cars will be automatically stopping to let the pedestrian cross the street. So that's more or less what we have in the basics to cover for now. You also have here the total lane distance, so you could know how much distance each lane has. And well, that's it for now. We are going to be making more tutorials soon, and hope you enjoy it. Thank you.